Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. A good evening to all of you. This evening, all of us have assembled here to celebrate the Christmas Eve. This evening, we have with us Reverend Father G. Ponodath, S.J., Rector, St. Xavier's Autonomous College. At the outset, I would request Revered Swami Suparnananda Ji Maharaj to felicitate Honorable Father. We shall start today's program with the singing of Christmas carols by the members of the Vivekananda Study Circle Junior.
Long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible says, Mary's boy child Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and men will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. While shepherds watch their flocks by night, they see a bright new star. They hear an angel choir sing, music seems to come from afar. Trumpet sounds and angels sing, listen to what they say, that men will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Now Joseph and his wife Mary came to Bethlehem that night. They find no place to lay the child, not a single room was in sight. By and by they find a nook in a stable so forlorn, and in a manger cold and dark, Mary's little boy was born. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and men will live forevermore because of Christmas Day, and men will live forevermore because of Christmas Day, and men will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travels afar. Fields and fountains, moor and mountains, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of might, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of might, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense loads a deity night, prayer and praising all men raising, perfume, breathes a life of gathering gloom, sorrowing, shine, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone cold tomb. Oh, star of wonder, star of might, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, by fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. Joy to the world, joy to the world, joy to the world. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way, ha ha ha, bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and black, misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and we got upset. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white and the night is young. Take the sleigh tonight and join us in this song. Just get a bobtail bay, get ready for a run, then hitch him to a sleigh, and now we'll have some fun. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
We shall now have a reading from the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible, King James Version, from the Gospel according to Luke. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. and all went to be taxed, every one into his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Saviour, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, as it was told unto them. And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Jesus, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. A short reading from Swami Vivekananda's lecture, Christ the Messenger, which was delivered at Los Angeles, California in the year 1900. You find that all these 3 stages are taught by the great teacher in the New Testament. Note the common prayer he taught, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, and so on. A simple prayer. Mark you, it is the common prayer because it is intended for the uneducated masses. To a higher circle, to those who had advanced a little more, he gave a more elevated teaching. I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. Do you remember that? And then, when the Jews asked him who he was, he declared that he and his Father were one, and the Jews thought that that was blasphemy. What did he mean by that? This has been also told by your old prophets. Ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Mark the same 3 stages. you will find that it is easier for you to begin with the first and end with the last. The messenger came to show the path, that the Spirit is not in forms, that it is not through all sorts of vexations and naughty problems of philosophy that you know the Spirit. We shall now hear Reverend Father G. Stephen Maharaj Kitako.
Stephen? He's not here?
I think he's sitting in the back seat. We shall now hear Reverend Father G. Ponodath S.J., Rector, St. Xavier's Autonomous College.
Swami Suparnananda ji, Secretary, Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture, other Swamijis and my friends. Tonight we will celebrate Christmas. I wish at the very beginning God's choicest blessings to you and to your families on this auspicious occasion. Time and time again, I have stood before people in different places on the eve of Christmas or on Christmas Day itself and made a statement that surprised some and shocked others. I had told them that Christmas need not be on the 25th of December. I explained that Christmas is a celebration of God's entry into human history. It is not just the birth of a baby in a Middle Eastern country somewhere far away over 2 millennia ago. What happened then has now become a historical event. But God's entry into human history cannot be confined by time and space. It happens everywhere. It happens all the time. As our own poet Rabindranath Tagore said, "Have you not heard his silent steps? He comes, comes, ever comes. Every moment and every age, every day and every night, he comes, comes, ever comes." So we have come here not just to celebrate that historical event. There is much more to the celebration of Christmas. I invite you to think about his coming today into our cultures, into our homes, and into our own lives. I request you to go beyond the narrow walls erected by religions and traditions, pure logical calculations and cold rationalizations. It is only then can we find the significance of Christ today. Otherwise, it will be an empty celebration of the birth of a child that took place some 2,000 years ago. Christmas should become a reality, a personal event when God enters our own lives. And Christmas will become a Bodo Din, a big day, only when that happens. So today we have come here to examine the relevance and the reality of Christmas in our own lives. Therefore, on this occasion, on this auspicious day, I would like to deal with the two simple but very significant sayings of Jesus Christ. They are, he said, "You are the light of the world." And therefore, the title of my little presentation here is "The Light That Shines Deep Within." The light that shines deep within. The second saying that I would be dealing with is, He said, "You are the salt of the earth." Now, in order to understand the full meaning and significance of these sayings, one has to deal with two other concepts. I term them as living by the mind and living by the heart. Of course, you can say that in order to live, we need both the mind and the heart, but I am not speaking at that level. These are not just concepts. These are two different ways of living. What are some of the characteristics of those who live by the mind? They are very logical. They are governed by cause and effect, right and wrong, past and present and future. They look outside of themselves because they cannot see anything inside. They live by what is prescribed in the law, often not so much the spirit of the law, but the letter of the law. Those who live by the mind are quite exacting. They do not easily forgive people's faults and failures. There may be many other characteristics, but you understand the drift. Those who live by the mind. People who live by the heart are loving and compassionate. They forgive easily the faults of others. They believe that compassion can have greater effect on the wrongdoer than condemnation. They are ready to go beyond the world of cause and effect. Cold, logical calculations are not their strong point, and they are often found to be reasoning beyond logic. As the Katha Upanishad says, the senses of the wise man obey his mind. His mind obeys his intellect. His intellect obeys his ego, and his ego obeys the self. The true self, we know, is divine. It is nothing less than God. Aham Brahmasmi. So the mind is not at the top, deciding everything. It is the self that decides everything. Now, of course, there are very few who live totally by the mind, and there is hardly anyone who lives only by the heart. All of us live at both realms, the mind and the heart. Nevertheless, if you look a little deeper into the phenomenon, we find that when it is concerning oneself, people often live by the heart. For example, people get hurt, and they are aware of it very easily. But they are not so easily aware of the hurt they cause others. This is because they tend to go by the heart in the first case. When it is concerning myself, I tend to go by my heart. But when it is concerning others, I tend to go by the mind, by cold logic. In our understanding, approach, and experience of God, what do we use? The mind or the heart? I ask this question because in order to understand the full significance of the words of Jesus, it is important to become aware of these dynamics in our lives. When we deal with the spiritual matters, we have to keep the words of Katha Upanishads in mind. It says, I quote, "Not through much learning is the spirit reached. It is not attained through intellect or by listening to instructions. The Spirit is revealed to him alone, whom he elects." I think in order to reach the Spirit, we can begin with the mind, with the logic, rules, regulations, in general, the empirical world. We can also begin expressing the divine in words and images. But those are only a beginning. There comes a stage when all these have to be abandoned as only approximations of the divine. When we really reach the shores of the divine, the Taittiriya Upanishad says, words turn back together with the mind, being incapable of comprehension. Words and mind cannot really comprehend the divine. That is the finding of some of our ancient rishis. Through these few simple words, a great world is opened before us. These rishis affirm that we cannot rely only on words to convey everything. There are realities beyond words and images devised by human beings. These realities defy expression by our language. Nevertheless, some great persons from our very soil, by their sacrifice, meditation, and other ascetical practices, have been able to glance at these realities. So they do really exist. They have left us pointers to those realities so that we may stretch our hands towards them. Once this stage is reached, we have to enter the realm of the heart. We have to start living according to the heart, which transcends reason and logic. Only then can we accept and appreciate the divine infinitude. Now we are ready to reflect on the words of Jesus. You are the light of the world. It is not only Jesus who said this. Our great rishis too have said similar words. In the Chandogya Upanishad, we find, it says, I quote, "There is a light that shines beyond everything, beyond the heavens and beyond the skies." Then something beautiful is said. That light is within you. That light which shines beyond the heavens and beyond the skies, that light is within you. That light is within us, or you are the light of the world. Both sayings mean the same thing. So both Hinduism and Christianity have taken different paths, but both have reached the same spot. This is very important to remember. When we reach the core of any religion, they seem to meet and they seem to say the same thing. Language may differ, idioms may vary, but the truth remains the same. But of course, that is the matter for another discussion. Let us return to our discussion on light that is deep within us. The light that Jesus spoke about is within each one of us, young and old, good and bad, religious and the so-called atheists. This is a fundamental truth that we have to accept. If that light is not there, we cannot exist. Many of us may not be aware of that light, but that does not mean that it is not there. Just because we are not aware of the air that we breathe does not necessarily mean that the air is not there. One can go further and ask a deeper question. Am I guided by that light? I think it is good to have some of these thoughts deep within us when we light the lamps tonight in our homes or near the crib or in places of worship. What are some of the characteristics of that light which Jesus spoke or our rishis spoke to us? That light that we see is only a shadow of the light that burns deep within each one of us. Unless we let that light shine bright, that light which is deep within, unless we let that light shine bright, other lights have little meaning. It does not take much to let that light shine. Irrespective of the land or culture in which they are born, great people have always spoken of that light that resides deep within each one of us. So it is there. If we live by that light, how should our lives be? Think of the sun. They say that it has been shining for the last 4.6 billion years, and it is estimated that it will shine for another 5 billion years or so. The sun does not choose where to light up. It shines on the good and the bad, believer and non-believer, rich and poor, white and black, men and women. Similarly, if we live by that internal light that is deep within us, our light should reach out to all. This is possible only if we live by the heart. It is not possible if our lives are measured and restricted by the mind. Can we have a heart so large that it can accommodate everyone irrespective of their color and creed, social and economic status? This is what Jesus demands when he says that you are the light of the world. He says, no one lights a lamp and keeps it under a bushel. It is kept on a lampstand so that it may spread its light all around to all the people, good and bad alike. The light that is within is not for keeping it hidden. It is for all to see and become useful. The light that is within us should be useful not for a restricted few, but for all. That light is given freely. The sun governs the life of our planet Earth. Our day and night, sleeping and waking, are all determined by the sun. We measure the span of our life in terms of day and night, and that is governed by the sun. In fact, it is the sun that sustains life on earth, to say the least. And yet, the sun does not ask anything in return. In doing so, it is burning out. A lamp too, just think of a lamp. A lamp too, in giving light to all the people around, burns out. It spends itself. Mother Teresa used to say, give until it hurts. Yes, that can happen to us as well. This Christmas, when we give gifts, maybe we can ask a few simple questions. Who am I giving this gift to? Is it only to my friends who will give me back something, if not now, later? Or is it to someone who will never be able to pay me back in any way? Jesus has a beautiful instruction on giving. He says, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as some do, to be seen by others and to be honored by them. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Then what will we become if we live a life of giving light to others? If we start living by the heart, like the sun or the lamp that burns out, our ego will burn out. Then once the ego burns out, there will be no more I and they. There will be no more stranger and friend. There will be no more rich or poor, black or white. Then the entire world will become a Vasudeva Kutumbakam. As the Maha Upanishad says, only small persons discriminate, saying one is a relative, the other is a stranger. For those who live magnanimously, that is, live by the heart, the entire world becomes a family. The same thing is said by Hitopadesha also. Jesus goes a step further. Once, when Jesus was teaching in a house, his mother and his cousin brothers came and stood outside, wanting to speak to him. They were anxious, and someone in the crowd told Jesus that his mother was standing outside. And Jesus says, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" And stretching out his hand towards the disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. Anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother, sister, and mother." So for Jesus, not only that there are no strangers, even blood relationship is obliterated among those who do the will of God. All become children of God and therefore sisters and brothers of one another. Doing the will of God is nothing less than overcoming the ego and stretching the mind and heart beyond the boundaries of I and you, creating that Vasudeva Kutumbakam. With that, we come to the second saying of Jesus, "You are the salt of the earth." It is essential to enumerate some qualities of salt to understand the significance of Jesus' saying. Salt is born of sea water and sun. Therefore, in ancient times, salt was considered the purest item on earth. So, if we are to be called salt, we have to be pure. The other quality of salt. Salt prevented corruption, decay, and destruction. Plutarch says that meat is a part of a dead body, and left to itself it will go bad. But the salt preserves it and keeps it fresh. It is as if salt has inserted a soul into the dead body and given it a new life. So if we have to be called salt, we have to not only remain pure, but also we have to prevent corruption wherever we are present. That is a daunting task in our present society. Do we dare to prevent corruption wherever we are, or do we add to that corrupting force? The third quality of salt. Salt adds a flavor to food. This is perhaps the greatest quality of salt. What kind of flavor do we add to the society in which we live? Does our neighborhood become a little more Vasudeva Kutumbakam just by our being in it? Sometimes have we not felt joy and confidence simply by the presence of some people in our midst? They do not do much, and we are not asked to do much, but their presence does a lot. Such people are true salt of the earth. The fourth quality of salt, the presence of salt is not seen, but its absence is felt. Salt becomes conspicuous by its absence. Our presence in society need not be seen by the newspapers and need not be reported by television channels. And yet, we are required simply to add flavor to the society in which we live. There is something else that happens, and that is perhaps what Jesus wanted all of us to do, because ultimately he too did become that. That is, salt, in adding flavor or in doing its work of preservation, melts and becomes one with the substance in which it is. Salt loses its identity of form. It loses its ego in order to preserve. It gives that saltiness to the substance in which it is placed. It loses its graininess in order to add flavor to the food. In the final analysis, that is what a selfless person is meant to do. To lose himself or herself for the sake of others. That is what Jesus did. That is what Gandhiji did. And that is what we are called to do also, to lose ourselves for the sake of our neighbor. All of us know that not much of salt is required to do all that. In order to add flavor, in order to preserve and prevent corruption, we need not do much. It is not how much we do that matters, but that we are doing the right thing is what matters in today's society. I would like to end with a story. It is purely a story, but with a deep message for all of us. A sand sculptor built a beautiful statue in sand by the seashore. He then built a wall around the sand statue so that the waves of the sea would not reach it. People came to see the statue and they marveled at its painstaking details and accuracy. Gradually, the statue became the point of attraction for all. Crowds started coming, and the city authorities put larger walls around the statue to preserve it. One full moon night, when the ocean swelled and the waves danced upon the shore, it almost came crashing on the wall. A wave beckoned to the statue and said, "Come and dance with us in this moonlit night. Let us go out to the sea and see its vastness." The statue shuddered and said, "No, I cannot think of going with you, for if I go with you, I will lose my shape and form, my beauty and elegance." The wave said, "But that is just superficial. An artist put you together. Your true beauty is deep within you, in the glistening grains of the sand, and not in the form that you have been given recently." This discussion went on for some time. More and more waves came to join the discussion. At last, the statue agreed to move. At first, it was afraid, and reluctantly, it stepped into the waves. The waves embraced the statue, and it finally lost its form. There was no more the statue which everyone admired. There was the freed essence of the statue, millions of glistening sand grains. These grains danced with the waves all night, and exhausted, some of them came ashore. The others went deep into the ocean. In the morning, workers came to take sand from the shore. Some sand was taken to build a temple. Some sand was scattered on the road so that people may not slip and fall. And some sand was used to build a poor man's house. The statue lost its identity, but it became useful for the society. The more we lose our ego, the more useful we will be for the society. You are the light of the world. May that light shine on all. You are the salt of the earth, and may you add flavor to the society in which you live. May you preserve it from corruption. May your lives be lived more according to the heart than according to the calculating, restricting mind. And in this process, may you have the courage and the strength to surrender that ego. Thus, may you contribute to build this society into a Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Happy Christmas, and may God bless all of you. Thank you.
Now, Revered Swami Suparnananda Maharaj will deliver his speech.
Om Jananing Sharadang Deving Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Padapatmitayo Stitva Pranamami. So first of all, I thank you all, and I welcome and also express my gratitude to Professor G. Ponodath S.J. He is the rector of St. Xavier's College, which is the first college to receive autonomy from the UGC. This I remember, I gratefully remember and acknowledge the debt of this college, because so my college, Narendra College, became the second one in the state. And they had to fight a lot. We too had also, but not like them. So they paved the way. So I am very grateful to the St. Xavier's College, and Father Matthews, who was the principal at that time. He used to come every year on this day to give his Christmas message to our students at Narendrapur. So we are very much with them. And now, here, this is my first Christmas Eve. I was just discussing and inquiring about what it is all going to be. Because I have been there for 48 years, enjoying this Christmas without missing a single one. And now I have started my second innings over here, and I am very proud that the house is almost full. It gives me immense pleasure to see your beaming faces. You have all come to pay your homage. We adore Christ in our own way. Why? That is a great story. It is not because he is one of the prophets. It is because he is one of the prophets who became one with Sri Ramakrishna. When we adore Sri Ramakrishna, we know we cannot abhor Sri Ramakrishna. When we respect Sri Ramakrishna, we cannot neglect Jesus. Sri Ramakrishna saw Jesus enter into his own person. He reaffirmed the Christian faith and the historicity of Christ. So these Christians, they may abandon Christ, but Christ would be worshipped in the little shrines of Sri Ramakrishna's devotees. We heard some incredible words from Father. Incredible. I won't say he profusely quoted from our scriptures, but he quoted. The single quotation, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. I am not an ordinary person. I am Brahman. I am divine. You are also divine. I am divine not by exclusiveness. My divinity would not exclude your divinity. You are also divine. And we are not born sinners. We are all divine beings. Pure, perfect, blessed, eternal. He quoted it. He quoted it from other Upanishads also. He recited several times, Vasudha Evo Kutumbakam. The entire world is our relative. Entire world. Vasudha Evo Kutumbakam. So this starts, or I should say, when there are such feelings among us, the co-travelers on the religious path, there is amity, perfect understanding. This is what is needed. Jesus preached gospel of love and the reality of God. These two things, gospel of love and the reality of God. Can you juxtapose these two to get a meaning? You can get to the reality of God through the gospel of love. You have to show love to others. If you work for others, and you do so, you work for others, what else your occupation be called? You serve some companies, serve some offices, you serve some institutions, you are serving people. Can you take along this love with you? And then your simple duty would become what? Service. It would become a means to attaining your reality of Godhead. God is real, all else is unreal. He established this reality of God because it was very much needed. Spiritual instability and restlessness, these are the two things which are lacking in the then Jewish world. And Jesus supplied this. He talked about salt in so many various ways, at least 4 or 5 various ways. He developed the concept. We are the salt of the earth. So precious, so useful, but nobody looks at it. Nobody looks at it. We are really the salt, the essence. Why? Because we have the divine within. He told it. It is a step forward, definite and steady, towards perfect understanding. So I can just cite one story that happened in 1964 when Pope Paul VI visited India, and he addressed a huge gathering in Bombay, huge gathering. Seeing the gathering, he asked the organizers, "Are they all Christians? Are they all Catholic?" They are not Catholics? No. They are not Christians? Oh, no, not all of them. So why they have come? Why have they come? They have come to see a God-man. Well, I am a stranger. I speak something else which they may not like. Yes, they have come to see, not to listen to you, they have come to see a spiritual man. He went back and said to the reporters, which I quote, just quote. It's interesting. This country is not Catholic. Pope Paul VI said, but what courtesy, what opening of spirit, what an avid desire to get a glance or a word from this strange traveler from Rome. The pontiff said, that was the moment of understanding, of community of mind. He didn't come to this country with that attitude. But simply, the presence of that vast crowd made him understand this great fact in spiritual life. That was a moment of understanding, of community of mind. We do not know what these rejoicing crowds saw in us. After going back, he is recounting. We do not know what these rejoicing crowds. They are full of joy and mirth. They became fulfilled by seeing the pontiff. But we saw in the crowds a humanity of great nobility, identified with a millennial cultural traditions. These crowds were, again he said, not all Christians, but they were profoundly spiritual and in so many ways so good and winning. That is what has to be done. And Swami Vivekananda started this movement in Chicago. Chicago Parliament of Religions gave him that platform. And where he spoke of the religion of the world, not any parochial sect of it. He spoke of the divinity of all life. Aham Brahmasmi. So this is a very fruitful night for all of us. This is also a rejoicing because Father Ponodath has transported us to that realm of understanding, where we should feel we are all brothers and sisters. We are all brothers and sisters. We feel concerned for all of us. This is a silent night. Even a word spoken in a very soft tone would become noisy. This is a silent night. We go back homes and just meditate on this silent night when Jesus would be born. Where? Again, in all our hearts. Let us wait. The Jesus would be born again, and he has to be born every moment in us. Let us hope. Let us get ourselves ready. Thank you. Namaste.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. Arrangements for light refreshments have been made at the main foyer downstairs at the ground floor. All of you are requested to partake of light refreshments before leaving. Thank you.
I forgot to tell you that this announcer, he is Swami Jadavendrananda. He read out from the Bible, Holy Bible, and also from Swamiji's writing. He is the director of our, which one? You are the
Center
director of?
for Indological Studies and Research.
Cultural study and research wing. He's a nice man, nice Swami. Thank you.